would like to welcome you, our esteemed viewers here on GBS TV. And also today, inside in Focus program, we have our guest. And the name of our guest is Professor Dr. Peter Baofu. He's an American visionary. He has written 179 books, which talks about, politics, mind, and also culture, as well as the society. And Professor Dr. Peter Baofu has traveled in over 132 countries around the world. And we are privileged to have him today here on GBS TV. So, Professor Peter Baofu, I would like to welcome you to our TV station. And would you mind if you can reintroduce yourself to the audience so that they can know more about you?
So let me say thank you for inviting me first. As you said, I am an American visionary and author of 179 books in all fields of knowledge, and I have proposed more than 145 different new visions and new theories of the human future in relation to the mind, nature, society, and culture.
Okay.
Which means that I have written on all of them and proposed many different visions in the formal sciences, the natural sciences, the social sciences, and the humanities in all fields of knowledge, not just in relation to one culture and one society, but about the entire planet Earth.
Oh.
So that is a very important project that I'm doing, and I have been in more than 132 different countries by now, and by the end of my trip, it could be probably more than 150 or 60 different countries, all over the world, in all civilizations. And the reason I do that is because I want to understand humanity on the ground, not just by reading books in a library and all that. That is very easy for me to do, but I want to go to each of them so that I can understand them firsthand, and I want to propose solutions to many of the problems confronting, again, not just one country, one culture, one ethnic group, but for the entire planet Earth.
Okay.
And that is exactly what I do, and so that's why I'm here in Malawi, which is part of Africa, and I should also look into Africa too.
Okay, so thank you very much for coming on GBS TV. Now, let's think about, there is democracy, and also there is what we call communism. Do you think communism has brought a positive impact on human beings?
Let me make some corrections about the question, because that question is heavily value-laden. Number one, the comparison between democracy and communism is the false dichotomy.
Okay.
Democracy is a political concept. Communism is an economic concept. So it's not the right way to compare that. You should say the comparison between democracy and autocracy or dictatorship. Yes, that makes more sense. But if you want to compare communism versus what? Versus capitalism, versus socialism, but not versus democracy, because democracy is a political concept.
Okay.
Communism is an economic concept. So do not confuse between the two.
Okay.
Number one. Number two, your question also assumes that we have communism on Earth. But the problem is that we don't have any communism on Earth anymore. There's no communist society on Earth. Because by definition, a communist society is a society in which the communes exist. The communes exist, as Karl Marx once said too, is that when the nation state disappears. But none of the nation states in those societies, so-called communistic, disappear. They have no communes left. So they have no communist society nowadays on Earth. Now, number three problem, I know where you're going to get at. You may say, well, there are some countries like North Korea, Cuba, China, and all that. They have the political party, which is called Communistic Party.
Yeah.
I agree with that. In fact, even in France, in the US, they also have Communist Party too. But that is very misleading, because what they mean by communistic is not what we mean by communistic nowadays.
Okay.
Let me give you one example. Look at China. Yes, China has a political party which is called communistic. But the political system in China, the economic system, is not communistic. On the contrary, the economic system in China now is becoming more and more capitalistic with Chinese characteristics, which means that they are much more socialist, a mixture of capitalism and socialism. So the Chinese call that a mixed kind of economy, mixed between capitalism and socialism with Chinese characteristics. So in the sense, look at the US and China. There are more millionaires right now in China than in the US.
Okay.
So if China is a communist society, how come there are so many millionaires? And that's why, so the notion, the word communist is very misleading. The same thing about fascism. In Italy right now, do you know, you have the prime minister and she is a woman. She is a member of the fascist party. Do you know that?
Yeah.
Now, fascism in Italy now is not the same as fascism in Mussolini, Italy. So it's just a history of the slogan, but the slogan doesn't mean the reality because the meaning changes over time.
Okay.
So that is very misleading. And number 4 problem with the question is that you ask the question whether what is the communistic impact on human rights?
Yeah.
I think that's the central tenet of your question. That is also very misleading, too, because you assume, therefore, that so-called society with a communist party must be a dictatorship, and society which has a political party, let's say liberal democratic, must be humanitarian, must be very nice, very benevolent. They are number 1 in terms of observation of human rights. If you look at the facts, it's often just the opposite. Let me give you some examples. The Greek Minister of Finance, his name is Yanis Varoufakis.
Okay.
He was interviewed, I think, a few months ago or last year, and someone asked him, there was a lady who asked him, saying that the West should be more aware of China now because if China is a dictatorship, China only go to another country, colonize everyone else. You know what he said in response to that question? He said, no. The Chinese system is much more humanitarian than the Western ones. And the lady was shocked.
Okay.
Why? He said, look, the Chinese political system now, one of the major weaknesses in military is that they have not fought a war since 1979. We are talking about more than 44 years, almost 45 years now, they have not yet fought a war. Major Western liberal democratic society, the capitalistic one, have been fighting endless wars every year, war and killing so many people. So which one is better? In the last few decades, China has been able to get rid of poverty, abject poverty, for more than several hundred million people. There's a major observation on human rights, isn't that?
Yeah, so I would like to appreciate for all the answers to all my questions. Viewers, that was our talk with Professor Dr. Peter Baofu. I'm sure that you have entered deeply into the world and what is happening. I'm sure that you have learned a lot. Thank you very much for being there to watch our TV station, GBS, on the In Focus program. Thank you very much. Till we meet next time. Thank you.